guys, this is Kirsten Keener, and I will be doing my Pecha Kucha presentation on the villainous female in popular culture and how that helped to inspire my character that I created for my very own Dungeons & Dragons campaign. So why? Well, really for the sheer reason that powerful females are pretty underrepresented. One only has to look to the 2012 Avengers movie for an example of that. When they are represented, they are often sexualized and played as just a dumb addition to the group as a whole. And that was really only speaking of the protagonist. The antagonist is even more grossly misrepresented. She is often highly sexualized with sultry clothing, and her ambitions really stretch no further than sleeping with the main character for information, and then dying somewhat tragically, kind of bumming out the main character in the process. We now look to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade as a poor example of a female antagonist. The character of Elsa is nearly the only female character in the entire movie. She is a pretty, blonde Nazi supporter, and she sleeps with the main character to gain information for herself. This character really fails to have much depth overall, and so as the audience, we don't really have much in the way of empathy for her, because we didn't really get to know her very well. Elsa's motivations were basically the same as the male antagonist, and so there wasn't much for her to do in the movie, really, except to be a sexual object. We now look to the Huntsman Winter's War as an example of a strong female antagonist. The Ice Queen Freya takes children to raise in her army to prevent them from the pain of loss, as she herself suffered losing her only child. She speaks with her dead sister through a magic mirror, and her sister is very manipulative and controlling, thus making Freya much more repressed. As the movie progresses, you start to empathize with Freya. While her methods are diabolical, completely unethical, you start to get an understanding of why she did what she did, and you, as the audience, might even start to question yourself. What would I do in that situation? And this is the mark of a good antagonist, female or otherwise. An interesting trope that's been happening lately, especially amongst the feminist society, is the idea of taking back the female villain. It's the idea of looking at a female that has been villainized and turning her into a hero of sorts. One of the more recognized examples of this within the realm of fiction is that of Medusa. The basic story of Medusa is that she and the sea god Poseidon fell in love. And Poseidon has a rivalry with the goddess of wisdom, Athena, so to get at her, he suggests that he and Medusa get down and dirty in Athena's temple. Athena can't punish Poseidon, so instead she curses Medusa, turning her into a creature so horrible that any who look upon her turn to stone. Medusa was villainized because Athena couldn't punish Poseidon directly. Because she was turned into this creature, Medusa was forced into solitude, far from civilization. She kills the heroes who come to her because they try to kill her first. Medusa is really a victim, but because few know her origin story, she has been made into a villain. So with all this confusion and controversy surrounding the female villain, why did I choose this topic to do my paper and presentation on? Well, one, I'm a female, so this kind of directly relates to me. And two, let's be honest, the great female villains are kind of badass. And three, I've actually written a female villain character for a Dungeons & Dragons campaign. And what character was that, you might ask? Well, I created a purple dragon, which for my dungeon was a mix of black and shadow dragon. Her name is Viola Tenebrosis, which means purple shadow. She is a shapeshifter, so her secondary form is that of a drow named Violet. So why a dragon? Well, dragons are probably my all-time favorite mythical creature, thank you Tolkien, and purple is my all-time favorite color. But there's little to no lore on purple dragons. They just don't really seem to exist in D&D. And so this allowed me to be able to create my very own unique and pretty original character. So why a drow? I wanted a character that was nimble and athletic, but brutal in battle. I also wanted a character already heavily associated with magic. They should live underground and rarely, if ever, venture to the surface. I also wanted a character that could have purple eyes, and the character of a drow fit these requirements pretty perfectly. And last but not least, why make this a female character? A lot of the times if we get to choose the look of our characters, we play as an enhanced version of ourselves. We want this awesome and destructive character to look like us because this is what we would like to do in real life if we were able to. And so I made the character Villaina Tenebrosa's female because I kind of want to be her. Being a dragon would be awesome. She can cast spells and fly and shapeshift. Imagine being able to change your appearance to whatever you wanted whenever you wanted. She is really just the whole package. But most importantly, I wanted the most powerful creature in the entire game to be a female, because it's unexpected and because the entire group could throw everything they have at her and still suffer a loss. Because I kind of wanted to add in that tiny bit of humiliation that could happen if an all-male group gets stopped by the female powerhouse of the game. And all of this really goes back to having a good female antagonist. Viola Tenebrosa has a depth and interest to her that makes her a three-dimensional character. There is the possibility of this character being sexualized as Violet the Drow, but it really won't hold any ground once it is revealed that she is the dragon. And a good female antagonist really helps to tell the story that is being written. She has reasons for the things she does, and as an audience, we understand them and even sometimes empathize with them. She doesn't need to sleep with the main character for little to no information. She also doesn't need to flaunt her body to get what she wants in the end. So that's it. So thank you for watching my Pecha Kucha presentation on the villainous female and how that helped to inspire my character in my Dungeons and Dragons campaign. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to get hold of me. Thanks again, and have a great rest of your day, guys.